Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a fun one here today, as it's actually, I want to say, at least one bot that I've never cast before. I might have cast Crustacean in the past, but Xena, I'm not sure I have. Either way, it's definitely been a while, but checking the SC2 AI ladder, Xena's actually the second highest ranked bot right now, so I'm not sure what happened there, but it's a random bot, and so this time it's playing Zerg, and seems to be planning a roach rush, so potentially a bit of a cheesy bot going up against a Crustacean. Blue Terran bot, don't know a ton about it either, but should be a good match between these two. We're on Equilibrium AI, which is an interesting map. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, as per always, if you want to see more of these bot videos, make sure to leave a comment down below that says more bots. And while you're at it, slap the cheese and rice out of the like button. And so let's see how rushy this roach rushy is going to be. It's already on the way, so pretty much as quick of a roach rush as we can get, it seems. How well Xena will execute it is going to be another question entirely, as we all know that these bots can be a little fallible when it comes to things like, for example, potentially chasing a Reaper instead of going across the map and dealing damage. So that's a possibility. Regardless though, Crustacean not SCV scouted. It's going for a classic expand build as the Terran. And I am curious to see whether it's going to be able to intercept this. Now, there's Burrow on the way for Xena, so going for quite an older strategy. Bot programmers have been utilizing, I was going to say abusing, I'll be a little bit nicer and say utilizing that Burrow function for quite a while. And so this rush may have been done by other bots in the past, but so I imagine Crustacean may have an answer to this, but you never know, it may not. So we have got that Reaper moving across the map, potentially going to see one of these roaches, but has not. Actually crosses the map, just misses those roaches, and so Crustacean's going to be on the receiving end of some damage. This Reaper's now heading on home. We'll see if it can intercept one of these roaches, but its pathing is not optimal. It's scouting out, it's looking around, and then it's going to go into the main base. But oh no, Crustacean is electing to go for a third command center. These roaches are going to start attacking the CC, which will, funnily enough, buy Crustacean a bit of time. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Crustacean... I was gonna say, doesn't look like Crustacean's gonna cancel that, but it actually did. Just literally at the last second there. And now we've got a starport on the way for Crustacean. Its natural base is under attack by these three roaches. There's a tank on the way as far as army units go. It looks like that Reaper must have died, but oh man, more roaches are crossing the map here. There's not a lot of mining that's going to get done at this natural. We'll see if this tank gets sieged up into a good position. The tank can kill roaches, particularly burrowed ones. As far as Terran units go, the tank, I think, is the only unit that can kill a burrowed roach without any vision. This command center's on fire. It's potentially going to go down. It does not get lifted off, unfortunately. We now see Xena saying attacking the main. Previously it said attacking the natural, and this could be very problematic for our Crustacean. He's going to be a salty Crustacean in a minute here. Roaches do burrow on that ramp. We'll see if another roach runs on top of them to potentially bait out the tank fire and get some friendly fire kills, potentially. Depot's getting raised on up. This tank is now going to shoot away, drive those roaches back a little bit. SCVs are trying to go to the natural, but they do not want to go there. I mean, they do, but they shouldn't. There's two tanks out for Crustacean now. It's been building a new command center, so it's not completely all in or it's not completely dead by any means. Xena, as far as all-ins go, is pretty committed, but it's done quite a lot of damage already. These roaches are just burrowed right on that ramp. Now, there's a Raven about to pop out, actually, for Crustacean. That's a big deal. We're going to see how layered Xena is here. If these roaches, upon being revealed by the Raven, just get out of town, or whether they will stay burrowed. Looks like they're actually gonna cease their burrowing activities, which is very darn impressive. Nope, they try and burrow again, but then they immediately unburrow, so they do realize that they are vulnerable. Very cool to see that. The command center now lands at the natural for Crustacean. These two tanks are holding strong for Crustacean, and so that's a big win for the Terran bot, the fact that its tanks are doing so well for it. However, unfortunately, it's incredibly far down on workers. 25 to 15 workers. The Zerg just built an extractor, so the Zerg went down in workers by 1. But still, the damage has been done. The natural has not been taken. The economy for Crustacean's really far behind. There was a Banshee produced, so that could be what Crustacean needs in order to push these roaches away for good. Depends how aggressive it is, and it looks like it's being plenty aggressive to push these roaches away, and that can allow this game to progress further. What a great game we have here so far. That Raven's not in position at the minute to allow this Banshee to kill those roaches, but it does move forward. It actually drops a turret, and a scan, unfortunately, for Crustacean got baited out there, not realizing that its Raven was near there. Anyway, Banshee still chasing away a roach. Roach burrows, keeps itself alive. I wonder if the Raven's going to pad towards that. Nope, it's staying at home for now. But Crustacean is now mining off of 2 bases. It's 2 base against 2 base. There's a good amount of tanks. Well, say a good amount. There's 2 tanks out for the Terran bot. I mean, not that they haven't done it well, but I am actually going to be a little bit concerned about a potential follow-up here. 22 roaches are out presently. There's only the 2 tanks. A Cyclone's on the way now. Another Raven's being produced. It'll be interesting to see if Crustacean handles its Ravens independently. That would be a big plus for the bot, if it can sort of assign a Raven to this Banshee potentially. We see a scan go down. Not sure where that one got dropped, actually. Scans its own main base, interestingly enough. I don't know if a roach was there or not. I don't think I saw one, so that's quite an odd play by Crustacean. We see more and more roaches being made by Xena, just chilling on 32 drones, just making the roaches. And this is approaching the number that it doesn't matter if Crustacean has 2 Banshees. It's going to take 2 Banshees a while to kill 33 roaches. A 3rd Banshee's on the way, so the scaling could be good there. And the longer this goes on, I think the better it will be for Crustacean. Of course, I don't know how well these bots play in the late game, but Xena is taking its sweet time to build up and make more and more roaches. I wonder how many it's going to stop at, actually. It could be going for 200 supply, which would just be redonkulous. Xena is slowly pushing out its creep, pushing out its overlords. We've got another factory on the way for Crustacean. Oh, Crustacean must be bugged somehow. I really wonder why it's scanning that location. Like, is it supposed to be dropping mules and it's scanning instead? That's very, very bizarre. And there, it goes for another scan. I wonder why that is. Crustacean, this is your house. You don't need to scan there. And so that's a bit of an odd bug. It's not that Crustacean can't win the game without mules, but it's a big economic hit. I believe in one of the previous games with a Terran bot that I cast, the Terran bot refused to drop mules. Or, yeah, it just kept scanning too much. And as a result, possibly lost the game on the economic front. Not saying that'll be the case this game, but we could be getting a bit of deja vu here. Crustacean tried to go for a 3rd command center very early on. I'm curious to see if it will go for another one soon. Xena has got a 3rd base on the way. It's down on workers now, so time really is on favor of Crustacean. We see Xena saying attacking 3rd. Poor Crustacean tries to build a 3rd. It immediately gets attacked. However, there's 4 Banshees out to deal with these roaches. The Cyclone can actually lock on to some of these overlords, which is quite nice. Will be a supply blocking move, it appears. It looks like another one just finished there. We see the roaches being queued to attack at this location. Now though, look at this. In come the roaches. There's the 2 tanks set up. There's the Ravens, so they actually can kill off those roaches. Mass auto turrets get dropped to try and save this CC. Banshee shooting away on roaches. not able to kill them as there's no Raven in position. The Ravens really need to buddy up with these Banshees so they can get the kills off before the Roaches burrow, but the tanks, they're zoning out the Roaches at this third base incredibly well, and now the Roaches are just being shot and shot away by these Banshees. Xena now actually saying, run away. A scan goes down. This one's somewhat in a better position. Still could be a bit redundant, though. However, that was a great defense for Crustacean. It's able to keep its third base alive, get it up, and it just goes to show that taking your time to make a lot of Roaches against a Terran that's making Banshees isn't going to go too well. Xena, if it was more aggressive, I mean, it potentially could have killed that third or gone in if it just dove on the tanks, but the pathing behavior didn't seem to be aggressive enough. Banshees now are being shot by a queen. If the Banshees go down, this game could completely turn on its head. We've got a Hydra Den on the way for Xena. That's going to be the only form of anti-air other than queens, but the Hydras will shred through Banshees if even just a handful of them get made. Creep is starting to be cleaned up slightly. Very difficult to deal with the bot's creep spread. There's 4 Ravens out now for Crustacean. We saw a lot of auto turrets before. We're probably going to see some more in the future. Crustacean's actually getting aggressive here. Banshee's coming on in 2. Auto turret being dropped. Banshee's shooting away. Kills off a couple more of these Roaches. If they dive on the queens, they could definitely kill them. Whether that's going to be the case or not remains to be seen. I'm also wondering if this Banshee, once it reaches a certain HP threshold, if it will retreat for Crustacean or not, or if it's just fully committing its units. Hydras are now out, so this is getting very worrying for Crustacean. If it overcommits, if it loses the Banshees, it could be vulnerable to a counterattack. It's making units, but it's more of just a trickle of these high expense units, the Cyclones, the Banshees, a couple of Hellions on the way. The tanks are going down. Cyclones and Banshees are still alive to the north. As far as the trade goes, I think it's alright for Crustacean, as it is killing off some of these Hydras. The Ravens are getting shot down by the Queens and Hydras now, so that's going to be problematic as those high gas value units go down. The detection goes down for Crustacean. It's making more tanks behind this. It's getting up more factories and a 4th base. It still makes me very nervous when a meching Terran loses most of its units, though. Human or bot, it would seem. Cyclones locking onto Hydras. Those Banshees are, yeah, doing a lot of really good work. Still pushing the Zerg a little bit. Xena does have a 4th base up behind this. Not the best economy. The economy for Crustacean could really be outpacing the Zerg soon, as it's getting up its 4th base with 72 SCVs to saturate it. And so with a few minutes of production, I think things will be good for the Terran bot. If it gets attacked, though, by Xena, could be lights out. If the Zerg does just make a bunch more Roach and Hydra. I mean, I'm not too worried. It's a possibility, however. As a meching Terran that has definitely had that happen to me a couple of times in the past, I get a little bit worried. We see Hellions going for some harassment for the blue bot. I love to see that. Not a lot of bots, or not every bot. There's quite a few bots that harass, but I'd say it's like 50-50 on bots that harass and bots that don't. So it's cool to see Crustacean going for this. It's falling flat on its face, but it's the thought that counts, and it's even turning these Hellbats, or these Hellions, into Hellbats. Gonna potentially fry up this queen, we shall see. And she gets one of them, 2 of them actually. Well done by her. But does go down. Cyclones are moving out on the map again, driving right over this creep. Locking onto Lings, and Cyclones are one of those units, when it comes to bot control, they really benefit from it. I love the tank placement of Crustacean, ready to punish Xena if it goes too far forward. Now Xena is stepping forward into a concave of Cyclones, tanks getting shots off, Cyclones locking onto units, scans even going down, preventing those Roaches from surviving with Burrow, and that was a really well-placed scan, actually, for a bot. Cyclones getting more and more lock-ons off. The Zerg is bleeding out units. It's currently 55 supply to 99, so Crustacean really doing well for itself. Making Hellions, making Cyclones, playing this race car mech. I'm wondering if Crustacean will ever be able to get up a 5th base, as that could potentially be a timer for the bot. If it's unable to clear the creep effective enough to get up another base, then eventually it could run out of resources in theory. That being said, it could also potentially just win this game as it gets another scan off, securing more kills on these roaches. Xena really falling down in supply, 42 to 119. These Cyclones really trading out efficiently. Resources lost. It's not as bad as you may think for a Zerg that's basically just made roaches this whole game. Roaches and Hydras, but like 50 roaches to start. That really skews the resources lost, however. I feel it's really climbing for Crustacean at this point. Starting to kill off drones. Hellbat's getting some fat shots off on transferring drones. Oh no, drones being pulled into Hellbats. That's not something that apparently bots are taught in school, in Starcraft school. Cyclones are pushing the envelope, locking onto units, just getting off kills. Xena's having a hard time coping, being able to engage this, because of course it doesn't want to lose its units by attacking in, but then it also is just bleeding them out. It's a catch-22. The Zerg is doing what it can. It's committing in with its roaches, but then immediately is forced to retreat. I think it's just too much for the Terran bot, and it looks like Xena is going to fall flat after going for a very strong early attack, but it just wasn't enough. The unit positioning wasn't there when it came to avoiding the tanks, getting shot at by the Banshees. I could see how it would be a very lethal build, but in the end, well done by Crustacean. I love the fact that it was able to make a game out of this and win, despite going for fast 3 command centers, having them be cancelled, losing its natural, being trapped in its main base. And what a great game this was. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning in. If you enjoy this kind of content, consider becoming a YouTube member. Subscribing is free if you click that bell icon. Join the Discord, which is linked down below. And I believe that's everything that I have to add.